The year was 2147. Earth had finally become quiet after many long years of wars, climate fights, and small space trips. People looked up at the night sky more often now. They dreamed about stars, but most still thought aliens were just stories. Then one morning, everything changed. A huge shadow covered the sky above the Pacific Ocean. Not one ship, but many. Hundreds of ships, different shapes and sizes, appeared without warning. They did not attack. They just waited in perfect lines, shining softly like silver clouds. Every screen on Earth showed the same message at the same time. A tall being with smooth silver skin and large black eyes spoke in calm, perfect English. His voice came through every phone, every TV, every radio. "I am Valor of the Lyrath people. We speak for the Galactic Concord. We come in peace. We have watched your world for a long time." People stopped what they were doing. In busy streets of Seoul, Tokyo, New York, Lagos, everyone looked up or at screens. Children pointed. Old people held their chests. Valor continued. "Your species is young. Your history shows much fighting. You destroy your own home. You build weapons that can end all life on your planet. Out here, in the wide galaxy, many dangers wait. Strong enemies, old wars, deadly places. You are not ready." He paused. His large eyes seemed almost sad. "Humans need protection. We offer it to you now. Join the Concord as a protected world. We will guard your system. We will take your large weapons. We will limit your ships. We will teach you safe ways. This is for your own good. Refuse, and the galaxy will not be kind to you." The message ended. Silence fell over cities. Then voices exploded. Some people cheered. Some cried. Many just stood frozen. In Seoul, inside a strong underground room called the Korea UN Joint Command Center, Captain Ji-eun Park watched the broadcast 3 times. She was 34 years old, short but strong, with sharp eyes and hair cut very short for work. She wore the dark blue uniform of the Republic of Korea Space Force. Her hands stayed still on the table. Next to her sat Lieutenant Ji-hoon Kim. He was taller, younger, 29. He liked jokes, but right now his mouth was tight. Ji-hoon spoke first, voice low. "They sound like worried parents. Give us your toys, little child. You might hurt yourself." Ji-hoon did not laugh. She stared at the frozen image of Valor on the big wall screen. "Protection," she said slowly. "From who exactly?" Ji-hoon turned his chair toward her. "From space pirates? From black holes? From other aliens who eat people? They showed pictures. The galaxy looks dangerous." Ji-hoon shook her head once. "No. Look again. Watch his eyes when he says, 'Your history shows much fighting.' He does not look worried for us. He looks nervous." Ji-hoon frowned and replayed the last part. Valor's smooth face stayed calm, but his long fingers moved slightly, almost like a twitch. "You think they are scared of us?" Ji-hoon asked. "I think they are scared of something, maybe not us right now, but what we can become." The room became busy. Generals shouted orders. Phones rang without stop. Diplomats ran in and out. Everyone wanted to know what Korea would do, what the world would do. Ji-hoon stood up. She walked to the window that looked out on the dark tunnel. No real windows existed this deep underground, but a big screen showed live view of Seoul at night. Lights twinkled like stars brought close. She spoke without turning. "Ji-hoon, pull the first contact files. Everything we have from old probes, from SETI, from the Mars listening posts. Look for any mention of Concord or Lyrath before today." Ji-hoon nodded and started typing fast. 2 hours later, he found something small. In 2119, a deep space probe near Alpha Centauri picked up a weak signal. It was not aimed at Earth. It was alien chatter between 2 ships. The translation software was old and bad, but 3 words came through clearly. Human, containment, priority. Ji-hoon read it twice. "Containment," she whispered. "Not protection. Containment." Ji-hoon leaned back in his chair. So they did not just find us. They already knew we were trouble. Ji-yoon crossed her arms. Then why come now? Why not wait another 100 years until we are stronger? Ji-hoon thought for a moment. Maybe they are afraid we are becoming strong too fast. Ji-yoon gave a small, cold smile. Or maybe they saw what happened on Kepler 62F last year. Ji-hoon raised an eyebrow. The mining colony? The one that disappeared? Not disappeared, wiped out. But the last message from the human team said they fought for 17 days against raiders with better ships and weapons. 17 days. No food, no air support, and they still killed 3 raider ships before the end. Ji-hoon whistled low. That story is classified. How do you know? I know people, Ji-hoon said simply. She turned back to the screen, showing Valor's face. They call it protection. But I think they want a cage. A nice cage, with food and toys, but still a cage. At that moment the door opened. General Han walked in. He looked tired already. Lieutenant Kim, the president wants options in 1 hour. The Concorde ships moved closer to Luna. They say it is polite positioning. Ji-hoon met the general's eyes. Sir, permission to speak freely? General Han nodded once. Ji-hoon took 1 step forward. Do not trust their words. They are not here to help. They are here to control. If we give up weapons today, we will never get them back. And one day, when they decide we are too much trouble even in a cage, they will end us quietly. The general stared at her for a long time. You have proof? Not enough yet, but I will find it. General Han sighed. Then find it fast, because half the world already wants to accept their offer. He left. The door closed with a soft hiss. Ji-hoon looked at Ji-yoon. What now? Ji-yoon walked to her desk and picked up her tablet. Now we stop being polite guests. We start being humans. She opened a secure channel to her old team from Special Forces days. Names appeared on screen. Ha-yeon Lee, Soo-min Choi, others who knew how to move quietly and think fast. Ji-yoon typed 1 short message. They say we need protection. I say we need answers. Meet in 3 hours. Bring ideas. She sent it. Outside, above ground, Seoul kept moving. People marched in streets with signs. Some signs said, "Welcome friends." Others said, "No surrender." Ji-yoon looked at the fake window again. The city lights looked small against the black sky. Somewhere up there, huge alien ships waited. And somewhere inside her chest, a quiet fire started to burn. She whispered to herself, so low that even Ji-hoon could not hear. From who exactly? The question hung in the air, like a promise. The tall crystal tower rose suddenly in the demilitarized zone near Incheon. One night, the land was empty fields and old fences. The next morning, the structure stood there, perfect and shining, like it had always been part of Earth. No sound of building, no trucks, no dust, just glass-like walls that caught the sun and threw rainbows across the water. The Galactic Concorde called it an embassy. Humans called it many things. Some said miracle, some said threat. Inside, the air felt cool and smelled faintly of clean metal and strange flowers. Delegates from many species walked the wide halls. Tall Lirath, like Valor, short, many-armed Xerians. Slow-moving beings covered in soft blue scales. They all moved with calm steps, as if nothing on Earth could surprise them. Human leaders came every day. Presidents, prime ministers, generals in stiff uniforms. They sat at long tables and listened. The aliens spoke softly, always the same message. Your people are brave, but brave can turn to reckless. We have seen young species burn bright and then disappear. Let us help you grow slowly, safely. Captain Ji-yoon Park stood guard during these meetings. She wore her dark uniform, sidearm at her hip, face blank like stone. She was not allowed to speak, only watch. But she listened hard. One afternoon, after the main talks ended, The aliens stayed behind in a side room. They thought the humans had all left. Ji-yoon stayed too. She hid in a small service corridor behind a thin wall. The aliens had not searched it. They did not think small humans could move so quietly. She pressed a small device to the wall. It was Korean-made, very new. It picked up their words and translated them fast. Valor spoke first. His voice sounded different now. Not calm. Tight. The containment must hold. They are progressing too quickly. Their neural scans show abnormal adaptability. And then Ji-yoon listened harder. The next words came in a sharp whisper, as the aliens debated the future of humanity. Fast, precise, and urgent. One generation learns what takes others 5. A Zyrian named Lyra Voss answered. Her many arms moved like slow waves. The Vega 9 logs worry me most. A single human vessel held off 3 raider cruisers. No shields. Improvised explosives from mining tools. They fought until their ship broke apart, and still they took 2 cruisers with them. Another voice, deeper from a scaled being. And the endurance data. Humans survive vacuum exposure longer than any recorded baseline species. Plasma burns heal faster. Pain seems to make them angrier, not weaker. Valor made a low sound, almost a sigh. We cannot let them reach the outer arms. If they spread, the balance breaks. They do not follow rules. They rewrite them. Ji-yoon's fingers tightened on the device. Her heart beat hard, but her face stayed still. She slipped away before they finished. Back in the command van outside the tower, she met Ha-Yun Lee. Ha-Yun was small, quick, with long black hair always tied back. She worked in signals intelligence. Her eyes were sharp like knives. Ji-yoon handed her the recording chip. Listen, then tell me what you hear. Ha-Yun plugged it in. She listened twice. Her face went from curious to hard. They are not worried we will die, Ha-Yun said. They are worried we will live, and keep living and get stronger. Ji-yoon nodded once. Containment, that word again. Ha-Yun leaned back in the narrow seat. So what now? We smile and hand over our guns? Ji-yoon looked out the small window at the crystal tower. It glowed soft against the evening sky. No. We start asking questions. Small ones. Polite ones. But questions they do not want to answer. That night, Ji-yoon called the team together in a quiet basement under an old office building in Seoul. No cameras, no windows. Just concrete walls and one weak bulb. Ji-hoon Kim came first. He brought maps and coffee. Soo-min Choi arrived next. She was the engineer. Thin, always wearing gloves because her hands were covered in small burns from experiments. She carried a bag full of strange parts she had taken apart from alien drones that crashed during tests. Ha-Yen was already there, typing fast on 3 screens. Ji-hoon stood in the middle. No notes, no tablet. Just her voice. We have one chance, she said. They think we are weak and scared. Let them keep thinking that. But we move. Quiet. Smart. Ji-hoon raised a hand. What is the goal? Ji-hoon met his eyes. To make them show their fear. On camera. To the whole world. Soo-min smiled a little. I can build something. A small broadcaster. It can push their private talks onto open channels. But we need access inside the tower again. Ha-Yen nodded. I found a weak spot. Their security trusts biology scans, but they do not expect humans to fake heartbeat patterns. I can make a mask. It will trick their sensors for 10 minutes, maybe 12. Ji-hoon looked around at them. We do not fight yet. We just show the truth. If people see what the aliens really think, governments cannot surrender quietly. Ji-hoon rubbed his chin. And if they catch us? Ji-hoon's voice stayed even. Then we become proof. One human caught inside their embassy, asking hard questions. That alone will wake people up. Soo-min built tiny devices. Ha-Yan wrote code. Ji-hoon planned paths in and out. In the morning, Ji-yoon went back to the tower for another shift. She walked past the same guards, same aliens, same calm smiles. But inside her pocket, she carried a new thing. A small black box Soo-min made. It looked like a phone charger. It was not. During a break, she slipped into a maintenance hall. No one watched. She placed the box against a data line. It hummed once, soft. Then it started pulling copies of their logs. She left without hurry. That evening the first small leak happened. Not big. Just one file. A medical report on human prisoners from an old Concorde station. It said humans refused to break under torture for 3 times longer than expected. The note at the end read, "Recommend immediate termination protocols, risk of escape too high." Ha-Yan sent it to a few trusted reporters. No name attached, just the file. By midnight people shared it online. Questions started. Why do they study us like lab animals? Why do they fear our escape? Ji-yoon sat alone in her small apartment. She watched the screen fill with angry posts. People who once wanted peace, now shouted different words. She poured tea. Hot, black, no sugar. She spoke to the empty room. Soon, she said, we ask the big question out loud. Outside, the crystal tower stood quiet under the moon. But inside, the aliens began to feel something new. A small, growing worry. Like the first crack in perfect glass. The days after the first leaked file felt like the quiet before a storm. People talked more, marched more. Governments argued louder. Some countries said yes to the Concorde right away. Others said wait. Korea stayed silent, watching. Then the Concorde pushed harder. A morning broadcast came from the Crystal Tower. Valor stood alone this time. No sad eyes. His voice stayed calm, but the words cut sharp. To ensure peace and safety, all nuclear devices on Earth must be surrendered within 7 days. All orbital defense platforms must power down. All military space vessels must return to surface docks. This is not a request. It is necessary for your protection. Screens showed pictures. A single Concorde cruiser hovered above the moon. It fired one thin beam. A small Korean test missile, old, unarmed, exploded in silence before it even left the atmosphere. The beam looked gentle, but the message was clear. Humans watched. Some cheered the show of power. Many more felt anger rise like heat in their chests. In the underground basement, Ji-yoon's team met again. The air smelled of coffee and solder. Screens glowed blue. Ji-hoon pointed at a map of the tower. They think that little show scares us into line. Instead, half the army wants to fight now. Ha-Yan scrolled through global feeds. Protests in every city. In Seoul, people chant the question, from who exactly? It started as a joke. Now it's everywhere. Soo-min held up a small silver disc. I finished the feedback device. If we get it inside their main comms room, it will loop their private fear logs to every open channel on Earth. No filter, raw audio, their own words. Ji-yoon looked at each of them. We do it tonight. During their big reception. They invited world leaders to celebrate cooperation. Many will go. We use the crowd as cover. Ji-hoon grinned. I like crowds. Easy to hide in. They planned fast. Ji-yoon would go in as security. Her uniform gave her pass. Ha-Yan would pose as a low-level translator. Soo-min would slip in as part of the cleaning crew. Ji-hoon would wait outside with the getaway van. Night came. The tower shone brighter than ever. Lights danced inside like trapped stars. Music floated out. Strange, soft alien notes mixed with human strings. Ji-yoon walked through the main doors. Her badge scanned green. Guards nodded. Inside, humans in suits mixed with tall aliens. Glasses clinked. Laughter sounded forced. She moved slow, eyes everywhere. She saw Valor across the room, speaking to a group of presidents. He looked relaxed. Too relaxed. Ji-yoon found a quiet hall. She met Ha-Yan near a service door. Ha-Yan wore a plain gray uniform. Her translator badge looked real. Ready? Ji-yoon asked. Ha-Yan nodded. They slipped into the lower levels. Soo-min waited there already, pushing a cleaning cart. Inside the cart hid the silver disc and tools. They reached the comms hub, a round room full of glowing panels. 2 Xerian techs worked at stations, No heavy guards. The aliens still thought humans too weak to try anything bold. Hyan walked in first. She smiled sweetly. "Excuse me, the delegate from Brazil needs a language patch for his earpiece. Can you help?" The Syrians turned. Curious, helpful. While they bent over the device, Sumin moved fast. She slid under a console. Her hands worked quick. Small tools clicked. The disc attached to the main line with a soft magnetic snap. Ji-yoon stood watch at the door. Her hand rested on her pistol. Heart steady. Sumin whispered, "Done. It will start in 5 minutes. Small at first, then full broadcast." They left the same way. Quiet steps, no alarm. Back in the main hall, Ji-yoon took a glass of water. She stood near a group of reporters. She waited. 5 minutes passed. A low hum started, first in one corner, then another. Screens flickered, alien faces appeared, not the polite ones, private logs, voices. The anomaly species, containment priority. They do not die when expected. They adapt. They remember grudges. People froze. Glasses stopped halfway to mouths. Then louder. A Syrian voice. "If they reach the frontier worlds, our colonies fall in decades. Humans do not conquer with fleets. They conquer with persistence." Valor's voice joined. "We must act before they realize their strength. The cage must hold." Gasps filled the room. Phones came out, recording, sharing. Leaders looked pale. Some aliens tried to shut down screens. Too late. The feed spread outside, to streets, to homes, to ships in orbit. Ji-yoon watched Valor. He turned slowly. His large black eyes found her across the crowd. She raised her glass in a small toast. No smile, just steady gaze. Valor moved toward her. Tall steps. The crowd parted. He stopped close, voice low. "You did this." Ji-yoon met his eyes. "I asked questions. You answered." Valor's fingers twitched. "You do not understand the danger you invite." Ji-yoon leaned closer. "I understand one thing. You fear us. Not because we are weak. Because we are not." Valor looked around. People stared. Phones pointed. He spoke louder, for the room. "This is a misunderstanding. We only wish to—" Ji-yoon cut him off. Voice clear, loud enough for everyone. "From who exactly?" The question echoed. No one answered. Valor stepped back. Outside, the chant started again. Louder now. Real anger in it. Ji-yoon walked out of the hall. Hyen and Sumin joined her in the corridor. Ji-hoon waited at the side exit with the van running. They drove into the night. No chase. Not yet. In the van, Sumin laughed once. Short. Sharp. They looked like they saw a ghost. Ji-hoon glanced in the mirror at Ji-hoon. What next? Ji-hoon stared at the road ahead. Lights of Seoul rushed past. Now they know we see them. And they know we are not going quiet. She pulled out her phone. The screen showed thousands of new messages. People sharing the logs. People angry. People ready. One message stood out, from an unknown number. "We stand with you. Do not stop." Ji-hoon put the phone away. The storm had started, and humans were no longer asking for permission to fight it. The world changed overnight after the broadcast. Streets filled with people. Not just in Seoul. In every city. Signs waved high. Voices shouted the same words over and over. From who exactly? Cars honked in rhythm. Flags of old nations mixed with new ones people made themselves. Simple drawings of Earth wrapped in chains, breaking free. Governments tried to speak. Some said calm down. Some said negotiate more. But the people no longer listened quietly. The leaked voices of the aliens played on every screen, every phone, every speaker. Humans heard the fear in those calm words. They felt it like cold water on skin. In the Crystal Tower, the aliens moved faster now. Meetings happened behind closed doors. Ships in orbit shifted positions. Not attacking, not yet, but ready. Ji-eun's team stayed hidden. They moved every few hours. A safe house in Busan one night, an empty warehouse in Incheon the next. Always one step ahead. Ji-hoon drove the van most times. He knew back roads. He knew when to speed and when to crawl. Ha-yeon kept watch on signals. She hacked into low-level Concorde drones that flew too close. She turned their cameras blind for minutes at a time. Soo-min worked without sleep. She took pieces from crashed alien probes, small things left behind during early tests. She built better jammers, stronger hacks, devices that could overload alien shields if close enough. Ji-eun planned. She drew maps on paper, old style, no digital trace. She marked weak points, embassy exits, ship landing zones, places where humans could hit hard and vanish. One morning the Concorde made their next move. A single cruiser dropped from orbit. It landed slow and gentle on a flat field near Incheon, not far from the tower. The ground shook a little. Dust rose, then settled. The ship opened. Not a small door, a wide ramp. Out came soldiers, 50 of them, armored in smooth white plates that glowed faint blue. Energy rifles in their hands, shields on their arms like clear bubbles. Valor walked at the front. No armor, just his silver skin and long robe. He carried no weapon. He did not need to look strong. The soldiers did that for him. A broadcast started at once. Valor's voice filled the air. "We come to restore order. The leaks were acts of sabotage. Dangerous elements threaten your safety. We will detain the leaders of this resistance, Captain Ji-eun Park and her group. Surrender them, or we will find them." People watched from rooftops, from windows, from phones. No one cheered. Faces looked hard. Ji-eun stood on a hill 2 kilometers away, binoculars to her eyes. Wind pulled at her jacket. Ji-hoon crouched next to her. They brought a full squad. Energy weapons, shields. Looks like they mean business. Ji-eun lowered the binoculars. "They think we will run, or hide. They do not know us yet." She turned to the radio. "Soo-min, status." Soo-min's voice came back clear. "Jammers ready. EMP bursts modified. Microwave arrays charged. We can hit their shields in waves, make them flicker, give our teams openings." Ha-yeon added, "I jammed their comms to the fleet. They think they talk to orbit. They talk to me instead." Ji-eun nodded to herself. "Then we move. Hit fast, hit smart. No heroes, just results." The plan was simple, asymmetric. Humans had practiced it for centuries, guerrilla style. Small groups, fast strikes, disappear. Around the landing zone, hidden teams waited. Not soldiers in uniform. Regular people who answered the call. Factory workers, students, retired police. They carried what they had. Hunting rifles, homemade explosives, metal pipes, anything. Ji-eun led one group, 10 people, all quiet, all ready. They moved through tall grass, close to the edge of the field. The Concorde soldiers formed a line. Valor stood in the middle. He spoke again. "Come out, Captain Park. This ends now. No more tricks." Ji-eun stepped from the grass, alone. No weapon in sight, just her uniform, face calm. Valor saw her. His eyes narrowed. "You walk into our hands?" Ji-eun stopped 20 meters away. "I walk where I want." Soldiers raised rifles. Blue lights hummed. Ji-eun raised one hand, slow. "Look around." The aliens looked. From every side, humans appeared. Not charging, just standing. Hundreds, then more. They came from roads, from buildings, from trees. No uniforms, just ordinary clothes, but eyes hard, hands ready. Valor laughed once. Short sound. "You think numbers matter? Our technology." Ji-eun cut him. "Your technology fails against will." She dropped her hand. Soo-min triggered the first wave. A low buzz filled the air, then sharp cracks. Microwave beams hit the alien shields, blue bubbles flickered, some cracked like thin ice. EMP bursts followed, small, targeted. Alien rifles sparked, some died, soldiers stumbled. Humans moved then, not all at once. Groups of 5, 10, they darted in, threw charges, metal pipes swung. Bullets hit weak spots where shields failed. The aliens fired back. Beams cut the air, some humans fell, silent. Others kept coming. Ji-hoon led a flank. He threw a grenade Sumin made. It burst in green light. 3 alien shields collapsed. His team rushed in, close, personal, knives, fists, whatever worked. Ha-yan's voice on comms. Fleet comms still down. They cannot call help fast. Ji-yoon walked straight toward Valor. Soldiers tried to block her. She dodged one beam, rolled under another, came up close. Her pistol cleared leather. One shot, not at Valor, at the soldier beside him. The armor cracked, the soldier dropped. Valor stepped back. You cannot win this. Ji-yoon closed the distance. We already did. She grabbed his robe, pulled him down to her level, pistol pressed to the soft spot under his jaw. Around them the fight slowed. Alien soldiers hesitated. Humans pressed. More shields failed. More aliens fell. Valor's voice shook now. Stop. You do not understand. Ji-yoon's eyes never left his. I understand enough. You came to cage us. We broke the cage. She spoke louder, for all to hear. Tell your fleet. Tell them to leave, or we keep going, and next time, we come to you. Valor stared. Long seconds. Then he spoke into a small device on his wrist. Withdraw. All units. Return to orbit. Immediate. The soldiers froze, then backed away. Slow. Careful. The cruiser ramp opened again. They boarded. But no fight left. Ji-hoon let Valor go. He stepped back. Rubbed his neck. You have no idea what you started. Ji-hoon holstered her pistol. I know exactly what I started. Freedom. Valor turned, walked up the ramp. The ship rose, slow, then fast, gone into the sky. Silence fell on the field. Then cheers, loud, raw. Ji-hoon stood there, breathing hard, blood on her sleeve, not hers. Ji-hoon walked up, grinning. We did it. Ha-yan and Sumin joined, faces dirty, eyes bright. Ji-hoon looked up at the empty sky. Not yet, but close. She turned to the people around her. Go home, rest, but stay ready, they may come back. People nodded, some hugged, some cried. Most just walked away, quiet, stronger. Ji-hoon sat on the grass, looked at the tower in the distance, still shining. She whispered, From who exactly? No answer came, but the question felt different now. It felt like a warning. The sky above Incheon stayed clear that evening. Stars appeared one by one as the sun dropped low. The crystal tower still stood, but its lights looked dimmer now, like a lamp running out of power. The Concorde fleet had pulled back after the fight on the field, not far, just beyond the moon. Ships hung there in silent lines, watching, waiting. Valor sent one last message. It came through every open channel. His face filled screens again. No anger, no sadness, just cold calm. Humans, you have shown defiance. We reclassify your world. No longer protected, now marked as high risk. Approach at your own risk. Any vessel entering your system does so without Concorde guarantee. Your actions have consequences. The message ended. No threats, no promises, just those words. People listened. Then they laughed. Short, hard laughs. The kind that come after fear turns to fire. In a small safe house near the coast, Ji-hoon sat at a plain wooden table. Maps and screens covered it. Ji-hoon leaned against the wall. Ha-yan typed fast on her laptop. Sumin cleaned small tools with careful hands. Ji-hoon spoke first. They left the field. They left the tower empty. But they did not leave the system. Not yet. Ji-hoon crossed his arms. So they wait. See if we calm down, or see if we push more. Ha-Yan looked up. My hacks show their fleet is damaged. Not much, but enough. Shields took hits, some weapons offline. They need time to repair. Sumin set down a wrench. And we need time too. People are tired, wounded, ammo low. We cannot fight another big battle right now. Ji-un nodded slow. Then we do not fight big. We talk. But on our terms. She stood, walked to the window, looked at the dark water. Waves moved gentle under the moon. I will go to the tower, alone. No weapons, no team, just me. Ji-hoon stepped forward fast. That is crazy. They could grab you, hold you, use you. Ji-hoon turned. They will not. Not after today. They know what happens if they touch me now. The world watches, every second. Ha-Yan closed her laptop. I can set up a live feed, from your body cam, hidden, small, they will not find it. Sumin added, I will make a small signal booster. If they try anything, we flood their comms again. Louder, everywhere. Ji-hoon gave a small smile. Good, then we end this tonight. Night fell deeper. Ji-hoon walked alone to the tower. No car, no escort, just her boots on the empty road. Wind cold on her face. The main doors stood open. No guards, no lights inside, just quiet. She stepped in, hall empty. Echoes followed her steps. In the center chamber, Valor waited, alone. He stood tall under the high ceiling. His silver skin caught faint moonlight from the glass walls. Ji-hoon stopped 10 steps away. You stayed. Valor inclined his head. I stayed to speak, one last time. Ji-hoon crossed her arms. Then speak. Valor's voice came low. We came because we saw danger. Not just to you, to us, to the balance we keep. Young species rise. Some destroy themselves. Some destroy others. You do both. And you survive. That scares the old ones, the ones who remember wars that ate stars. Ji-hoon listened. No interruption. Valor continued. We thought a cage would work, keep you small, safe, contained. But you broke it. Not with better ships, not with stronger weapons. With will, with refusal. That is what we fear most. Ji-hoon took one step closer. You fear we will not follow your rules. Valor's eyes met hers. We fear you will make new rules, and the galaxy will bend to them. Silence stretched. Ji-hoon spoke next. Then stop trying to bend us. Leave. Let us grow. Let us make mistakes. Let us learn. If we become monsters, that is our choice, not yours. Valor looked up at the glass ceiling, stars visible through it. You ask much. Ji-hoon's voice stayed even. I ask nothing. I tell you, go, or stay. But if you stay, know this. We will not hide. We will not bow. We will come, and we will ask again. From who exactly? Valor lowered his gaze. He reached into his robe, pulled a small crystal disc, held it out. This holds our final logs, everything we recorded about you. The good, the bad, the impossible. Take it. Show your people. Let them decide what comes next. Ji-hoon took the disc. It felt cool and light. Valor stepped back. We withdraw now. All ships, all forces. Sol system is yours. But remember, the galaxy is large, and not all fear you. Some will hunt you. Some will try to use you. Some will try to kill you before you grow too strong. Ji-hoon slipped the disc into her pocket. Then we will be ready. Valor turned, walked toward a side door. Before he left, he looked back once. You are not what we expected. Ji-hoon answered quiet. Good. He disappeared into shadow. Minutes later, alarms sounded soft. Not warning, farewell. The tower lights dimmed more. then went dark. Outside, the sky lit up. Concorde ships moved, slow at first, then faster. Lines of silver stretched toward the edge of the system. One by one, they jumped. Gone. Ji-yoon walked out, stood on the steps. Wind pulled at her hair. Her team waited at the bottom. Ji-hoon, Ha-yeon, Soo-min, others too. People who had followed the feed, hundreds now, quiet, watching. Ji-yoon raised her hand. The disc caught moonlight. They left. We stay. Cheers rose, not wild, steady, deep. Ji-hoon walked up, grinned. So, what now, Captain? Ji-yoon looked at the stars. Now we build. Ships, stations, weapons, friends, enemies too, maybe, but on our terms. Ha-yeon smiled, and we remember the question. Soo-min laughed soft. From who exactly? Ji-yoon nodded. From anyone who thinks they can put us in a cage again. They walked back together, toward Seoul, toward lights, toward tomorrow. High above, on a Seoul rooftop weeks later, Ji-yoon stood alone. City glowed below, stars glowed above. Ji-hoon joined her, quiet for a moment. They thought they were protecting us, he said. Ji-yoon kept her eyes on the sky. Turns out, the galaxy needs protection from us. Ji-hoon grinned. Exactly. Ji-yoon smiled thin, small, real. She whispered to the night. Exactly. The stars did not answer, but they seemed a little closer now.